Today, the moon is in Pisces. Went into Pisces yesterday, continues in Pisces all day today. So we're connecting with this spiritual vibe, this intuitive, with the flow, transcending limitations, also bringing some confusion, some sort of loss of how we, right, as we step into new ways of being and let go of old ways of being, we kind of lose some of our ways of orienting ourselves. But at the same time, we are connecting with all that is. We are connecting with this sort of infinite expanse of the universe and all the possibilities, all of the ways that love can express itself, kind of that infinite knowing that our hearts can tap into. And so today, the moon passes by Saturn, and I want to talk about containing the infinite and what it means for Saturn to be in Pisces, especially as the moon transits or passes by Saturn in Pisces. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Friday, May 3rd. And so the moon is in Pisces. It passes by Saturn in the afternoon, my time. So let's see, this is about like around 4, a little after 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Pacific time, United States Pacific time. So, be in the middle of the night, maybe if you live in Europe. At any rate, this vibe of the moon passing by Saturn is bringing in this Saturnian energy of structure. So, we talk about Saturn a lot as being like rules and discipline and limitations, but when we ask why do we need rules and structure and discipline and limitation? We need structure to make form, to make things, right? To make, even if it's an intangible thing, it's still a thing and it has a structure. And so things in our lives come into being by having a form, by having a name, a set of properties, right? Like everything, right? From this vase over here, right, to anything that we might imagine that we can see, taste, touch, hear, feel, talk about, think about, imagine. It has a kind of form, right? And so the form that things take is a kind of container for energy. So just like how you need a cup or a bowl to hold water, or a lake or a pool, something has to hold the water, right? Or else it just goes everywhere, right? So the container is the structure that holds the energy that otherwise doesn't have a shape. So form, shape, Saturn gives energy, form, and shape. In our bodies, Saturn relates to our skeletons. So the bony structure that holds us up gives us stability and structure and the ability to be upright. So how Saturn shows up in our lives is that it plays this role of defining things, of creating a structure, a container, a shape. And so without Saturn holding that Piscean, watery, everything, all the infinite, the infinity of everything, um, we can't we can't talk about things. We can't have that experience of interacting with the world around us and the objects and the possibilities and the limitations around us. That ultimately is what helps us learn more about who we are. So the limitations serve us because they give us a material world to interact with. They give us a garden to explore, right? So when you put this plant in the garden, this plant thrives, that plant didn't do so well, right? That's a boundary. It's a container, right? It's a set of properties for your garden that supports this kind of plant, but not that kind of plant. And so what is the garden you have to work with? What is the soil you have to work with? It's asking you to learn how to work with it and what plants will thrive and what energies do well here and what energies need some extra loving care and what energies just want to say, no, no, that doesn't work for me. It doesn't grow well in my soil. So so thinking about that as we think about the moon passing by Saturn and what kinds of things it might bring up for today has to do with how we think about things, how we relate to our limitations, but also recognizing that without those limitations, we don't have a set of properties to work with, to learn from, and to grow through. So Saturn teaches us who we are, and it's about how we learn who we are through the experience of relating to limitations, to challenges. But challenges and limitations are also just it's one possible set of, it's a manifestation, right? It's the way that something is manifesting, and without it manifesting in a particular way with particular properties and a particular shape, it would just be everything. And what can we do with that? It's hard to know what to do with that. So but we are connecting with the infinite through the way that we make those containers and through the way that we relate to those containers. So how are you taking care of the container of yourself and the things in your life, your environment, your things that you work on, things you shape and create and have an impact on? So how can you nurture and care for that container in a way that helps the things you want to have to blossom and thrive? So that's kind of a simple concept, but also kind of a lot to think about as we think about the way that limitations show up in our lives and how we can take care of our containers. Thank you for being here. I'm Marina Orms, and you can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. You get 20% off your first session when you book time with me, and you get to explore your own chart. You get to see how that chart is unique to you, how it's your own container. So super fun and, validating to experience this language that helps you understand how you're made up and why you're made up that way and why it's a good thing. All right, being who you are is a good thing. Thanks for being here. Thank you for subscribing and for all your comments and sharing with your friends. I so appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.